Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking the new and improved DEX team into some PvP, and we're going to be bullying the quick-driven slasher builds. Now, as you guys can see, yes, I did pull S-Shark. I did a few multis off screen. I wasn't even going to summon, but, like, guys, you know me. The PvP legends, man. Like, I'm a sucker for a PvP legend, and whilst I really like what they're doing with these Seraphim Legends, S-Shark, he's no S-Hawk, so wait for him to come back around if I have to give you advice if you want to summon or not. But hopefully you guys enjoy this kind of showcase, and if you do, bell the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. We're going to be doing a lot with this guy, taking a look at what the DEX team is going to look like in the future, taking a look at like the fighter team as well now, because obviously this guy is very fighter-centric, but the big thing that I wanted to focus on first was taking on quick-driven slasher. Now, just to preface this, you don't need S-Shark to take on the quick-driven slash team. I do think that DEX is still in a pretty good position to take down something like quick-driven slasher. The quick-driven slasher shouldn't really be a team that can beat DEX, but honestly, at full potential, it definitely can if you don't have the right units going up against it. Now, with S-Shark, though, S-Shark does bring a lot to the DEX team. Now, he is a fighter shooter, which I find incredibly weird. Being a shooter character does let him down actually quite a lot, because there's not a lot of shooter support when it comes to the DEX typing. When it comes to the fighter team, like, there's none at all. I feel like fighter powerhouse or even fighter cerebral, maybe something like fighter driven, that would have just benefited this character so much more. But I do understand why he's a shooter, right? Like, he shoots beams out of his hands. But S-Shark is basically a not as good version of King of Hell Zoro. What he does in terms of his counter, in terms of his provoke, in terms of his shield is very, very strong. And going up against Quick, especially, this counter is actually ridiculously powerful. Like, it can do a lot of damage, plus it can protect a lot of your units that you want to keep around. They can do very good damage either at the back end of a fight or towards the start of a fight too. Characters like Doflamingo, characters like Bullet, characters like Sobermask, who are stereotypically quite squishy but can output a butt ton of damage, are exceptionally protected when it comes to running S-Shark. Now, his special is on a 31-second cooldown, which is actually pretty annoying to get. But once you do get that special off, and the enemy doesn't have any specials of their own, that counter mechanic, especially at the back end of a fight, can just be an absolute game changer. It does so much damage. I was averaging around 14k roughly with counters, if I remember correctly, against the quick-driven slasher team. But that's not to say that that will work all the time against any team. This is purely talking against quick-driven slasher, but slapping him in the middle, just having him as your defensive option is really, really nice. Having characters like Big Mom and Blackbeard still like halving stats and giving HP cuts is awesome. And then having your like 3 core fighter units in the middle can work very, very nicely. That's not to say that it's the best DEX team to build, but you have characters like Luffy, you have Sobermask, you have Donjin Jiao, Gar, Bullet. There's a lot of DEX fighters, Lucci as well, the Cat Viper, Dogstorm duo. There's a lot of fighters that you guys can actually use that are of the DEX variety that you could easily put in the middle, just to sort of keep that core nice and strong, because S-Shark not only boosts DEX, but his primary boost is actually for fighters. Unlike S-Hawk, though, I do think that S-Shark is going to be a lot better on the DEX team. I do think you probably see him pop up a little bit more on a DEX-centric team rather than a fighter-centric team. However, if you are running fighter for God knows whatever reason, he's definitely going to make an appearance. I don't doubt that. And when I do the fighter showcase, you guys will see what I'm trying to cook up with that. But he's definitely just going to walk in. His passive boosts, like I said, DEX and fighter characters. He's very defense-orientated. He gives HP, he gives defense, but he also gives attack, which is very interesting. And every time he takes a shot, he can give himself level 1 attack up to 10 times. So when you use his special, you get his passive completely maxed out. He's giving himself a lot of attack. And as you can see, we're sitting at 30 seconds into the fight, and he's still increasing that attack stat. After he uses his special, he gives himself level 7, and then that just funnels straight back into his counter mechanic. Obviously, the more attack that he has, the more damage he's going to output with that counter. But unlike Zoro, His is only a 3 times counter, and the difference between a 3 and a 4 times counter is actually quite large, but the difference that S-Shark does is he gives himself a shield. So now that we've got the counter up, he's got the provoke ability going, he's sitting at 51 attack, and now when he gets hits, Big Mom's just kind of blocked away, but Akainu's going to take around 9,000 damage on that shot. Now the shield, I don't really know if the shield actually affects the counter mechanic, because the counter mechanic is obviously based up on the damage that S-Shark is receiving, and the shield, it's actually, you're still taking the damage. It's just like the shield has an extra health bar. So from what I can perceive, the damage is still based off a regular shot, and that shield, it's just basically protecting S-Shark's actual HP pool rather than hitting, rather than like nerfing what the counter's actually trying to do. So this ability is incredibly strong, but the downside too, or has 2 big downsides that I do find with it, is one, because he's on a 31-second cooldown, you don't overly see that counter working all that often. Like, we got the special off the second time in the fight, and we're towards the back 30 seconds, which is a bit of a problem. The second thing is when you do get it off, the enemy will stereotypically have specials, and that actually just doesn't affect the counter at all. So, kind of a deficit to the unit, but at the same time, when you do get hit by normal attacks, it is exceptionally powerful. But just with that comparison to King of Hell Zoro, and why I think King of Hell Zoro is just way better, in my opinion, is purely because the DEX fighter builds don't have cooldown reduction to allow you to use your special off. They don't have a unit like Nami Karina that can roll back specials, allowing the enemy to do more normal attacks. Plus, DEX don't have a real insane way of lowering defense, and because of that, we have this result of lots of defense on a unit that can throw out counters, but sometimes won't do it because the enemy doesn't have the right normal attacks. That, again, it's not a product of the unit being bad. I think, like I said, S-Shark is fantastic. I just don't think he has the support around him to really make him shine. However, at the same time, that doesn't make a good PvP unit. And as you guys are seeing with S-Hawk, you can throw S-Hawk anywhere, and he's fantastic. And on top of that, he's just a front runner on the Slasher team, which is one of the best teams in the game, where Fighters, definitely not the best team in the game. DEX, definitely not the best color in the game. So definitely struggles. The S-Shark unit definitely struggles a bit. I am having a lot of fun with the character. I'm hoping to do some stuff with him in Grand Party tomorrow on either a Big Mom team or a Gear 5 team. We'll have to wait and see. And if you guys want to check that out, make sure to hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of the fun content. Not only with S-Shark, but all other OPTC content as well. If you guys have any ideas where you want to see this unit, let me know in the comment section below. While you're down there, don't forget to belt the like button for me. If you are new to the channel, or you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button. But most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.